All right, welcome back to the third Cheezy and Mocha podcast. This time we're joined by guest star Mo himself, worst user in the league.
That's true.
You want to introduce yourself for all the users that obviously know who you are, but still introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Mo. I'm a commissioner over at MSPA, and I'm stoked to sit here with Cheezy and not so stoked to be here with Mocha.
Shots fired. We're not even 30 seconds in.
Yeah. All right. So, we're just going to get right into the topics. We got recap of the last Legacy playoffs this Madden until we're taking a break. Recap. We were actually right in our prediction. Daquan made it to the Super Bowl and won, right? At least right in that prediction. That was pretty crazy. I didn't really expect him to beat Trey, even though I voted. Even though I said he would beat Trey in the predictions. Guess the Kush Army was just too strong.
He definitely owed his channel a ring. They've been waiting for quite some time here, and he had the motivation. So it makes sense for the last season to be to have Kush win it all. Storybook ending.
Yeah, I'll say that was probably out of the whole thing, that was the coolest part. Was he's got some really loyal fans that wanted to see him win this. So to see him do it in the last game of Legacy, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was kind of the ultimate climax of Madden for him, I would say. Then you got Chef on the other side. I don't think any of us thought he'd get all the way. I think I don't quite remember. Did we even think he was going to get past the first round?
We had Chef in the NFC Championship.
Oh, we did?
We had him playing Lampard, but we had Lampard winning. That was our prediction.
Yeah.
So
Lampard kind of shit the bed then. He was talking. I mean, he wasn't really talking shit, but he was like, I haven't lost a Chef since the first or second season.
Yeah, he was pretty confident. It was a close game all the way through. It was a defensive battle. I think the score going into halftime was 6-3 or something like that, and Denver kind of just pulled it out. Had some nice defensive plays, and it was a well-deserved Super Bowl appearance for Chef.
For sure. Defense and Chef doesn't really go together much, but guess anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was a pretty high scoring game. They decided they were going to chuck that thing out.
Yeah, the Super Bowl was crazy. That it just back and forth, everyone throwing the ball everywhere. It was just Fant versus Saquon pretty much. Fant versus Saquon and Slayton.
I could pull up the stats real quick, but there was 122 combined points in the Super Bowl. Final score was 66-56. I am assuming that is probably the highest scoring game in MSPA history.
Maybe not MSPA history.
Maybe not. Well, it has to be at least Super Bowl history.
Yeah, definitely.
Noah Fant. Dude had 400 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. Barkley had 300 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. I mean, if that was a regular season game, and fantasy football owners would have been going crazy. I mean, no defense at all that game, just non-existent.
Hey man, that would be honestly, that'd probably be one of the most hyped Super Bowls ever. If it was real life, at least. Having that many points, that back and forth. Well, it wasn't really that back and forth, right? Daquan was ahead most of the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were still close for most of the game. They were going touchdown and touchdown, for most of the game.
Wasn't any point of the game where I felt like it was over. I felt like it wasn't until the final kneel down. What do you think was the biggest surprise or upset, not including, or I guess that would be Kush beating Trey, right? You think that'd be the biggest upset?
Probably. I don't know if that would be the biggest upset. I think Chef being Lampart's pretty good. Also,
Yeah, I think they're both probably on equal footing. I mean, the two guys that lost in the divisional rounds are two of our best users. So I mean, I think everyone was a little shocked.
I think everyone, pretty much everyone who makes the playoffs, besides I mean, no Flame, but like the normally the NFC South winner and the AFC East winner are always like just shoo-ins to lose in the wild card. You proved that wrong this year, but then everyone else is just like one of the best users, so it's like hard to ever say, you know, users going out in the divisional is surprising unless it's Lampard or Trey, pretty much. I would say those are the only two users I would be surprised to lose in the divisional.
I agree. I personally, I'm more shocked about Trey losing. I just think that man was 16-0. He looked virtually unstoppable all season, and I think Lampard getting beat by Chef is a huge upset. Don't get me wrong, but I just think Trey's that guy. So I think we were all kind of had our jaws dropped when we saw Kush pulled that one out.
Right. I definitely shocker in both conference championships. I think that influenced the user rankings we did afterwards for the tournament too, just a little bit.
We'll see. We'll see for sure. What was your overall take on the playoffs, though? What did you feel like this was one of the more exciting ones? More great way to end it?
Definitely, despite being the last season, which is normally just the last season, I feel like normally is like kind of a shrug off season, right? No one tries as hard. And whoever wins the Super Bowl, it's like, nice job, but like no one really cares. They're done with Madden. They don't want to play anymore. Like, there's less than 10 viewers tuned into the Super Bowl normally, but like this playoffs, it felt like more energized than last year's playoffs. This playoffs was hype.
Yeah, from years past with what we've done with Madden, this last season that we had here was by far the most competitive and I think fun last season I think MSPA has probably ever had. Like usually Mocha's right. The last season's almost like a shrug off. Come play if you want to play. If you don't play, it's okay. You're not really going to lose your spot. We're just going to keep going. And then the winner is like, oh, well, you won, but you won the last season. It's not the same. This last season was like intense.
Definitely. I agree with everything. It was just, I guess I already said everything I needed to say, but like, it's just, it makes me feel better that it was like, still like a hype season, and I was able to make the playoffs this season, instead of just shrugging it off as like, I was still trying when a lot of users weren't, but I guess a lot of users probably weren't trying still, but it was definitely the most competitive. Like last season or last Madden, I swear to God, like the last season, half the users were on AP autopilot. Normally, that's what happens.
I felt like it was healthy that that was the Super Bowl. It didn't have Trey or Lampard in it. I think that's what made it that much more interesting, that it was two different teams or two teams that we wanted to see, and Kush carries the load on bringing viewers into MSPA. I mean, usually when Kush plays, people are watching him more than any other user in the league just because of his YouTube channel and stuff. And I mean, he's a fun player to watch as it is. So I thought it was very healthy for the league to kind of end off on a note that other users can dominate the league and win Super Bowls. So I think this season was one of the best, at least for Madden 20's term. Great ending, very, very great ending. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at Kush's YouTube channel, and I was actually surprised. I didn't think he has 13K subscribers. I was surprised he had that much. I didn't really realize that. I don't watch all of his videos. And then, but I was looking at the views on his videos, and the Madden cycle is a vicious one, man. Like, I went back to like first season, he was getting 5K a video at least, and this most recent season, he's getting 300 views a video. Not even 1K. It's like everyone's over Madden at this point, but it's like, I agree. That's like, I think if his users at least, or not his users, his subscribers like watch that Super Bowl, maybe they'll see it's like, you know, Madden can still be hyped this late in the season, right? And they'll stick around.
It's interesting that you bring that up. Yeah. So if you go back to his very first video of Madden 20, have you seen how many views that has?
Yeah, it has like 15K.
No, it's 41,000.
Oh shit! Wait. Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah.
His very first video for this Madden cycle has 41,000 views. So what's interesting about that, and maybe some users don't know this, maybe you guys don't know this, but we'll break some news, okay? Starting next Madden 21, that cycle, Legacy will be starting right away. Like, I think we'll probably have like a day or two break to let everybody get the game, but we're gonna start right away, and that's so that all of these YouTube shows that we have that are going can capitalize on all of those early clicks. Pandora will still start at the week 1 roster, but and that's going to be a big part because we can differentiate the off seasons so the off seasons don't hit together. But yeah, what you see is one of the reasons that Legacy is going to start as early as what it is.
That's really good. I think it'll help everyone catch on the Madden hype. That, I mean, it's like the least hype Madden ever, but there's still hype every time Madden comes out. So the first couple days is just huge on making Madden content, and even before Madden comes out, all the early access people. I mean, not that we get early access, but all the early access people make so much content and get so many views off playing Madden early and playing Madden as soon as it comes out. That'll be huge.
To go deeper into what you were saying about Kush's channel, I think Mo mentioned this last night at some point. I don't remember, but a lot of the subscribers or fans on Kush's channel are Giants fans alone. So what helps Kush is the subscribers and fans that he has, they're taking those games very seriously, you know, like they're treating his playoff games as if like they were watching the NFL. So they start getting into it, and they want to learn more about the league, and they want to learn more, and they want to join, and it's just that's just the part of the success around Kush's channel is that he has so many subscribers that are Giants fans, and they enjoy watching how he's built the team, because I don't think the Giants will be as successful as Kush has been in the next 6 years. I think we can all agree on that. I don't think Darius Slayton will develop into the player he did in Madden. So just a lot of positivity around that.
Yeah, there's not a ton of Madden YouTubers quite like him either. I would say, like, there's not a ton of franchise content creators.
So when we found Kush, the only reason he got the invite that he got was because his stuff was just so much more realistic than everybody else's. He put so much more time into it, and he was doing a lot of his franchises versus like at the computer, right, where he would try to take them and go through these games. And I just hit him up one day. I was like, "Yo, this is cool and all, but why don't you do it in a realistic league that can do the same things that you're trying to do now, but you can do it against 31 other users?" And he was all on board. So I hope that we've been beneficial to him to help him give out content that just other YouTubers don't have access to. Because I mean, we don't have that many. He's the only one that has access to MSPA stuff at the moment, unless it's other people that are in MSPA. But then we've also been very benefited by his channel. Like I'm gonna be real. I probably get an average of 10 applications a week from his channel. Just people want to be here. 90% of those are kids that are like 16, 15 years old, 14 years old, just want to play with Kush. But we've had some really good people come in, and I'm gonna miss some names, so I feel bad for this. But we've had guys like Cal come in. We've had Tom that was on KC for a while, really good dude out in the UK, come in because of it. We've had Cheezy come in. I mean, it's just the list continues to go on and on. Good users are finding their way here because of Kush's channel has been very beneficial.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that'll continue. I think Madden 21 will bring even more applications and users. So, kudos again to Kush's channel for bringing in that type of clout for MSPA.
Super exciting that and everyone else's content can start growing, and all the content we're just putting out from MSPA, especially like a lot of people want to start making more content next Madden. We're gonna start doing the broadcasting a little bit. Super exciting getting all that out. It makes kind of a light at the end of the dark Madden tunnel.
For sure.
So, we one fun thing as the Madden cycle runs down, we're challenging this other league to a tournament, right? Mm-hmm. So we had a vote on the top 8 players in our league. Or not quite. I mean, maybe not everyone voted on that criteria. Maybe some people just wanted, users they know to be in the tournament, or maybe some just louder guys they hear in chat. I mean, evidenced by Trey not getting 100% votes. But, a lot of people were upset they either didn't make it into the top 8 or Trey wasn't number 1. Yeah, that was, what do you guys think about that?
I think you can't beat Kush's popularity. I mean, the dude, I mean, like you said, he's got 13,000 followers. A lot of people that come in and know who Kush is. Like, that's a reason why we get him. A lot of those people that didn't vote for Trey and they voted for Kush, it's because they came in from his channel and they just don't know anybody. They're too new to know anybody. So I don't think it was a thing that was disrespectful to Trey. I think a lot of these people just, they voted on the people that they knew and they didn't want to throw them bad votes, so they threw like 2 or 3 votes out there.
It always brings feelings out to people when they're not included on a list involving the best of something. So, even though I feel for Chef, because Chef didn't make that list, but he's won a Super Bowl and made the Super Bowl again more recently, and he doesn't make that list, and it's kind of just shocking to see that. But I guess my point is it's just hard to swallow the feeling that you didn't make the top 8 of your league when you really felt like you deserved it. And it'll definitely motivate the people that didn't make the top 8. I know it motivates myself. to do better and be better, so that maybe if we have another tournament like this, I'll be involved next time, or I'll have a part.
I'll give you guys another cool little bit of tidbit of info. There were 28 players in our league that were voted into the top 8 by somebody. That to me is unheard, right? So out of all the people that cast some votes, the 32 vote pages that we got, there were 28 of them that felt like this person deserves to be in our top 8. To me, that is huge. Like, that shows just how much competition we have, because I'm sure if most leagues do this, they're going to get an average of 10, 12, maybe 14 people that make somebody's list. But what we had here was just crazy. And we only had 2 members of that 28 that only had 1 vote. Everybody else had more than 1 vote. So again, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's really crazy. Speaks to all the competition. I gotta ask, did I get 1 vote? Please tell me I got 1 vote.
You got 1 vote.
Let's go! Let's
voted
go!
for you.
I'm pumped. I got 1 vote. Let's go.
Was that a pity vote?
Yeah, it's because Mocha beat me this year. I felt like he earned it, so I voted for Mocha. I was the only one that voted for me.
Wait, actually, did you vote for me?
I'm the only one that voted for
Oh
me.
my god. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, you earned it. You beat me twice this year.
You act like that's an accomplishment, man.
Well, I mean, I did smack the fuck out of you last year, so.
Okay.
Imagine if we still had Magic in this league. How much that would have shaken things up.
Alright. You guys want to go over... Me and Cheezy made a list of our top users. Mine's not necessarily in the order I voted people on that list. I kind of did that one a little bit faster with less thought put in. But I wanted to go over... We wanted to share, like, what we think are the top... I made a top kind of... I guess 15 list, since but mostly a top 12 list, of my top users. I can just start with my list, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or do you want, actually, do you want to go from, bottom to top, or top to, top to bottom? I think maybe just top to bottom is better.
Yeah.
You guys want me to leave you guys alone while you do this top to bottom thing?
I mean, unless you want to make make commentary on it, on our choices. You're free to dip out whenever you want to, but
I'm just kidding. I just didn't know if you needed a room for talking about top to bottom.
no, it's fine. You can just be in. You can be in here. Comment on our list.
Third opinion always helps.
Right. So my top user, I think without a doubt, gotta put Trey number 1. I think, you know, he's won multiple Super Bowls, Pandora, Legacy. He's the best team every single year. Practically goes 16-0 or 15-1 every single year. Makes it to the Super Bowl almost every year. He's by far the best user, I think. I don't think we have a discrepancy on that, do we?
Nope.
Nah, Trey's fucking good, man.
For sure. I agree.
Alright, who's your number 2?
Oh, are we not? I'm sorry. I thought you were just going 1 to 15 and I would name 1 to 15.
I think we just go back and forth, like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. Sorry, my bad. All right, I'm on board. Yeah, Trey number 1 for me. That's obvious. I don't think anybody should question that. Number 2. I have Lampard. I think Lampard, his 2 Super Bowls kind of separates him from the rest of the pack just a little bit. So I have Lampard edging at number 2.
I agree. I think Lampard definitely deserves the second spot. He made the Super Bowl multiple times. He won it like twice, right? Lost to Chef this year. He also he went 13-3. Really terrible record, to be honest. Well, but he said he wasn't quite in the mindset, wasn't quite trying as hard this year. And he still made it to the AFC Championship. That speaks volumes. But he's my number 2 user for sure. For number 3, I'm not sure if I would have put him here if he didn't make the Super Bowl, but I think number 3, I gotta put Kush. If he didn't beat Trey and Chef this year, if he lost in the NFC Championship, I don't know if he's 3 here. But he did. He wins his first Super Bowl. Previously not having too much, playoff success. But this year he proved it all. He beat Trey and Chef. I think he's got to be number 3. I think he also deserves credit as one of the best team builders in the league too. I think that's another list we could go over. I think Mo would like being in on that list more too.
Yeah, I feel like GM of the year should be number 1.
I agree with you. I also have Kush at number 3, and I think last night's event definitely solidified his spot as a top 3 player in MSPA. I think, and I agree with you, I think if he lost the NFC Championship again, or not again, but lost in the playoffs again, I think he would probably be a little lower on this list, but he definitely clutched up, pulled through, got himself a ring. So a very well-deserved 3 spot for Kush.
Yup. Actually, you go for. I think we just go back and forth saying who we got,
Okay.
First.
Number 4, probably the most underrated player on this list. I have Chef. I thought it was extremely disrespectful to not include him on the top 8 for votes for that tournament. I think Chef is easily a top 5 player in the league. He won the first Super Bowl and he made another Super Bowl last night. Great offensive player. So it's hard for me to not put Chef in this top 5. I have him at number 4.
I totally agree with you. I think he's one of the most underrated players. However, I actually have Nick as my number 4. The Legacy Bears, Pandora Titans. He has been one of the most consistent users this Madden and previous Maddens. He has to deal with not only Trey twice a year, but also Sully, who's also in that division, and planks the playoffs, has a great record every year. He rarely loses. He made the Super Bowl this Madden. He shows up, balls out, destroys me every time I play him. I have him at 4. And then for 5, that's where I have Chef. I have Chef at 5. He for me, consistency is pretty important. He makes the Super Bowl. Like, it's not like he hasn't been, at least somewhat consistent. I mean, he's gone 10-6 and 11-5 pretty much every season. Just he's in a tough division, but you gotta show up a little bit more to make sure you're making the playoffs every year. He made the playoffs the first and last season this Madden. He won the Super Bowl the first year. He came close to winning this one. His playoff like his playoff record can't go unnoticed. He's at this point what, like 1, 2, 3.
I think he's
like
6 and
6-1.
1.
6-1 in the playoffs. That's pretty tough to beat. He's my number 5 player. Who you got number 6?
I didn't say number 5.
Actually, wait, yeah, 5. Never
mind. I put Drunk at 5. This number 5 spot was hard for me as well. But Drunk is I think he has the best users in the league. I think he's the hardest player to go up against on defense, personally. He's always making plays with Quan Alexander, with his 49ers, and it's just, Drunk's a great player. He's made some runs. I'm pretty sure he has a ring, not in Madden 20 specifically, but Drunk is definitely another very underrated player that unfortunately we haven't seen much of because he didn't play in Legacy. So, yeah, that's my number 5.
Yeah, just piggybacking on that. Well, actually, never mind. You go on your 6.
My number 6, I put Nick, and that's why I didn't really get surprised when you put him at number 4. Nick is just as great as anybody else on this list, and like you mentioned, he's in the same division as Solly and Trey, and that's a handful on its own. I mean, he beat Trey to go to a Super Bowl, which is extremely impressive. Unfortunately, just came up a touchdown short against Lampard, but I think Nick has solidified himself as a top 8 player in the league. I feel like there's no shame in being below the players that I listed.
Right. At 6, I got Drunk. He's the only purely Pandora player I have on this list. I know he made the NFC Championship in Pandora. I haven't personally faced him in a while since he only plays in Pandora. I don't play in Pandora. He was here at the very beginning of the Madden cycle, and he was here last Madden. I'm not sure if he was here the entire Madden. He might have been a little bit in and out. But I remember at least facing him the last Madden, and he was always super tough. And he's come back to Pandora and been one of the top users again. So I can't really put disrespect on his name and have him any lower than this, I don't think. Although it's all these users, just after the first 3, I had a really tough time making this list. It's really tough to rank the rest of these users. They're all so good. At 7, I have Grady, the Legacy Brown user, long time Browns user. He's been in MSPA forever, pretty sure since the beginning. This Madden, he was a little bit of a regular season warrior. He said it himself. You know, he has a great record every year in the regular season, and then loses in the first or second round of the playoffs. But he's consistently just one of the toughest users to beat, and just he's very consistent, and I like that. So, yeah.
My number 7 is very close to my number 8. I think this was probably the hardest part of my list, was kind of figuring out this middle section here. I have Bradley at 7, and I think he's number 7 just because he had a Super Bowl run last season in Pandora, barely lost to Trey. I felt like that was a very winnable game. He had a costly pick in the red zone and late in the fourth quarter that kind of helped Trey win the game ultimately. But I think Bradley is a very consistent player. He plays, in my opinion, what's the hardest division in Madden 20, the NFC East. Huge Eagles fan. So I think Bradley is a very well-deserved 7, and he is also representing MSPA in the tournament. So yeah, Bradley for number 7. And going into the number 8 spot, you just mentioned him, Grady. I think Grady, like you said, he mentioned talking about regular season warrior. He unfortunately just hasn't had too many deep playoff runs. I don't think has he made a conference championship in his Madden 2010 year?
I can't remember. I don't believe he's made it out of the divisional. Maybe the first couple seasons that I'm still fuzzy on.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm new, so I wouldn't know, but I think just because Bradley's had a couple deeper runs, that gives him the slight edge over Grady. But this is no disrespect to Grady. We all know who Grady is. We all know Grady's a great player. So, Grady's solid 8.
Yeah, we just got ours flipped. I got Brad at 8. Like Eagles in both leagues. He's I know he made the Super Bowl run in Pandora. But in the most competitive division in MSPA, he's consistently has less than 6 losses per season. He's always plays really tough in the playoffs. I feel like he shows up in the playoffs a little bit more than he does in the regular season even. It was super close. Like, if I could just have a 7A and a 7B, I would just put Grady and Brad there. Like,
it's tough.
It's tough. It is tough. Yeah, and then I got Soli at number 9. The Legacy Lions, Pandora, and Chargers in Pandora. He's been dominant in both leagues, despite having to play Trey and Nick twice a year, the number 1 and number 4 players on my list. Like, he still ends up with less than 6 losses on his record every year. But the only reason I have him behind, like, Brad and Grady and Drunk is he doesn't really have that playoff resume, you know? Okay, sure. Like, he beat me in the playoffs this year. Like, good job, man. Like, good for you. But he doesn't really have the playoff resume. I don't know the last time I've seen him. Granted, he said it before. He loses. He ends up losing to Trey in the playoffs. So, like, can't really blame him. But when's the last time I don't know if I've ever seen him have a deep playoff run to even the NFC Championship. That's why he's behind those users for me.
Well, I am actually in agreement with you on this number 9 spot. I also have Solly. And you talk about him not having deep playoff runs, and this is true. I think, it's hard to really do or have deep playoff runs when you are constantly being the wild card team, being in the same division as Nick and Trey. You're always finding yourself fighting for a number 6 spot, and you have to take the toughest path to get to the Super Bowl every single time. And I think that should be taken into consideration when we talk about Sully. He's a very consistent and solid player, especially with the Lions. And, the Lions are an okay team. I think he built them very well. So, yeah, Sully at number 9. And standing right behind him, this is also a very tough 9 and 10 I have. I'm going to put Kane at number 10. And it's the same thing with Solly. We just haven't seen many deep playoff runs from Kane. A lot of great regular seasons. He went 13-3 this season and still had a wild card spot. I mean, that's very hard to choke down. But I mean, we talk about Kane. I mean, you can be 13-3, you get bounced out of the wild card round instantly. So it's kind of just it's hard for me to place him any higher than I have him. But Kane's a great player, has a very good offensive plan when it works. So yeah, Kane at 10.
All right, yeah, I actually have a user that a lot of people, I mean, a lot of our veterans will be familiar with him, but he's not in chat a ton. He has been kind of in and out of, playing in the league, or like consistently having time to get his games in and stuff like that. But Cool Breeze, I put him at 10 just because he has a great track record the first couple seasons of this Madden and previous Maddens. I know last Madden he was consistently one of the top Super Bowl contenders. Despite, I think he's one of the least. He has one of the highest upsides and like sort of one of the lowest lows of like users in this league. When he's good, he can make it to the Super Bowl and even win it. When he's down, he can. I know I told you guys this earlier, but he loses to me by multiple touchdowns. Like, I mean, that's not a good thing you wanna have happening when you're one of the top users. Yeah, but he's definitely one of the most dangerous members that I think gets overlooked now in this league.
Interesting.
And then
Very interesting.
at number 11, I got Brian, the Legacy Cowboys. He fell off a little bit as the Madden cycle went on, but that just happens when you're in one of the toughest divisions in the league. He did make the playoffs twice earlier in the Madden season. I think season 2 and season 3 at least. And then he also won a couple playoff games. He's one of the most consistent members in the league, despite playing in that division. He's always a tough outing. I love playing against Brian. Yeah, he's my 11th pick.
11. I have Mufasa, and this is also a very tough one. I think Mufasa's always battling Grady for the division. They always seem to have a consistent 11-5, 12-4, 10-6 kind of records. And it's kind of the same case with Grady in this Madden. I just haven't seen the deep playoff runs from Mufasa to have me see where he can be on this list. It's hard to place him any higher than I have him, but I think Mufasa is a great player. I have personally not played him in a game yet, but I am hoping to soon. So that's my number 11. My number 12 is West Coast, or who you would call Alex. West Coast finished the AFC this season in Legacy as the number 1 seeded team, had a 14-2 record, I believe. It's like 13-3 or 14-2, something like that. Unfortunately, lost to Chef in the divisional round. It was a very tight game. And once again, it's the deep playoff runs. I don't think West Coast has a conference championship appearance yet. Usually finds himself out in the wild card round or the divisional round. So, I mean, it's very hard to do that when you have Lampard in conference. So, West Coast, number 12.
I got Mufasa at number 12, just like you said, consistently battling Grady for the division. He's kind of a regular season warrior, just like Grady. They haven't really been able to put playoff wins together for the NFC or the AFC North. I have kind of a group of users as my 13 through 15 right now, and I was thinking about it as we were talking, and I was like, maybe Mufasa's kind of just in that group, but I think what puts him over the edge is consistently one of the top users, whereas the rest of these guys aren't as consistent, right? But like,
has he missed the playoff?
I don't know. I don't think he's missed the play. Well, actually, yeah. I don't think he's missed because Chef's been bounced a lot, and normally no one else comes out of the South and East, so I think he's normally secure in the spot. Yeah, being a playoff team every single year is definitely puts him over the edge on a couple of these guys. But my I kind of just got 13 through 15 at this point. I can't really distinguish between these users enough to rank them. I got yourself, Legacy Panthers, Pandora Saints. I got Kane. I know you ranked him a little bit higher. He's, Washington and Legacy. And then you got Alex, Legacy Jaguars, Pandora Dolphins. I know Alex, he definitely popped off this last season in Legacy, and didn't he pop off in Pandora a little bit last season too? Or am I mistaken?
He's not in Pandora.
Are you sure? I thought it was the Dolphins.
Nope. I'm sorry. He was, but I think he gave him up or something like that. I'm pretty sure he focuses on Legacy, but when he was with Miami, he had like a 4-12 record.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I could have swore he was he's a little bit higher. He popped off with the Dolphins actually the first season of Pandora.
He had the first 3 picks in the draft.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay, never mind then. Never mind. But he did pop off this last season in Legacy, and he was definitely a more consistently tough user last season, or last Madden, I mean. But Alex and Kane both have kind of consistency issues. One year, they end up 8-8, or in Alex's case, actually, I take it back. Well, never mind. I was gonna say Alex is an even more hot and cold user than Cool Breeze, but some years he'll just finish, fucking 4-12, and then some years he'll finish 14-2 and make the playoffs. But I think Cool Breeze is still, he has a higher high, I guess, at least, because I haven't really seen Alex make a deep playoff run, or maybe he's made the AFC Championship before at least, but Alex and Kane both are super inconsistent, so that's why I have them down here. And then you've only been here for a season, so I don't really have a great resume for you yet. That's why you're in this group. I can't tell if you're consistent because you've only had one season, so yeah, that's my 13 through 15.
I put myself at 13 actually as well. Oddly enough, I don't have much to say. I'm new. It's kind of hard to judge somebody when they played one season in Pandora, one season in Legacy. But I have made the playoffs in both leagues, and I am the number 1 team in the NFC in Pandora right now. So it's looking a little promising for myself. So I guess I'm kind of just gonna say I'm a wild card in this top user list. At 14, I have Brian, and Brian is a very good team builder. I think he's a very fun user to play with. He definitely is a great player, consistent. He's in a very tough division, and I would say he's probably gotten the short end of the stick in that division. In this Madden, it's hard to be 10-6 and still end up 4th in your division. That's crazy to me. I think that happened a couple times. So we really have to take into consideration how tough that division alone is and how tough that conference is. And I think if Brian was in a less top-heavy division, I think he would probably have a couple more playoff appearances. So, definitely a top 15 user in this league. And at 15, I put you, Mocha.
Nice.
I think you beat me, so I think it's kind of unfair to put myself on this list and not include you. And you did have a playoff appearance this season, so I think that should be taken into consideration. You are a Super Bowl champion in MSPA, not in Madden 20, but you're definitely up there, man.
Before sure. I was washed up.
Yeah, washed up.
All right. Do you guys want to hear the 7 I added to the already top 8?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you.
Okay, so I didn't do them in any specific order. I don't necessarily agree with the top 8 anyway, but I'm not going to rank all 15. But here's 7 that I would add to a top 15. Sully, Chef, Brian. In my opinion, a guy that gets really overlooked is Calculated. I know it's because he's been in and out of the league, but when that dude plays and he is on, that dude is a ball player. Cheeks is another person that's in Pandora that I think fits into this list. I think he's a really good user over in Seattle. Mofasa and Cool Breeze. That would be my top 15.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I was looking at Calculated. Calc, he's another. I think he's kind of in the same vein of what I was talking about with the kind of group I made from 13 to 15. I just dropped him out because he's been in and out of the league, so it's like it's kind of even like worse than being inconsistent. He's been inconsistently in the league, so like I would say he's probably like the top user, not on my top 15.
And
yeah, I'm really excited to see how some of these guys that didn't make the top 8. I'm excited to see how they respond next year because I know a couple of them are pretty pissed off.
Definitely, I want to see these guys play with a chip on their shoulder.
Definitely hoping we can see a little less of Trey in the Super Bowl. No offense to Trey, just I hope everybody plays with that motivation, that kind of keep that same energy type of vibe. I think this list kind of just speaks out to the competition we have in this league. I mean, we're having trouble listing these users in order, and we haven't even mentioned everybody that could potentially even be in this top 15 list. I didn't put Cool Breeze in it. I didn't put Calculated in it. There's a new user.
I didn't put Cheezy in it because Cheezy just lost to Steeler Guru over in the other league, so I couldn't put him in my list.
Wow, we're really basing it off that game, huh?
I think we'll have an even harder time making this list when we get a full Madden cycle with the although solely Pandora users too.
Yep.
A lot of them will start balling out, and we'll have to think about maybe one of them makes a deep playoff run and beats Trey. Like we'll have to start thinking about them in the top 8.
Very true.
Division next year, I'm not looking forward to it. Yikes.
Do we want to talk about Cam in the playoffs? The recording's almost already like an hour long.
We might want to save that.
Yeah, we can save that. Alright. Anyone got any final comments before we sign out?
You guys, I want to give you both a huge shout out. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. The podcast is amazing. Keep up the good work. This is good shit.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm sure Mocha does too.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's great. I wish I love all the content people put out, and hopefully it's even better next year when everyone's hype and then like everyone starts. I heard a lot of other people trying to make content too. I think it should be really exciting. Excited to see what people make. But anyways, signing out. Peace. That was the third Cheezy and Mocha podcast.